Alrighty, boys and girls. Sharp Customs. Share, like, subscribe. We're rolling. We're coming at you hard and fast. We're going to try and put out more content in the next few months because we got a lot to do. We got a lot to say. Or, I should say, I have a lot to say. So, tonight's video, we're concentrating on the GT40. As you can see, there's been some development. So, if the camera girl, my beautiful wife, if she wants to come around to this side, I just laid this up. Kind of sounds funny, eh? Laid it up. No, I laid some fiberglass earlier tonight. It's hardened up. I was just using shelf bought cheap resin. I just wanted to kind of use it up. I wanted to kind of experiment. This fairly fresh paint. It's only maybe three days old. So I want to do a little bit experimenting to see how it would stand up, you know, to the whole fiberglass procedure. So as you can see, so basically what I'm doing here is I laid out, I used aluminum, really thin aluminum, like this stuff here. It's kind of what you would buy to make your gutters or make your fascia for your house. You can buy it by the roll. Over the past, I've acquired kind of end rolls and stuff from people I know in the business. Kind of nice to know that. It's nice to know friends who. It's nice to know lots of other trades, which I do. I know trades in all avenues of whatever it may be. But I know guys that do siding, roofing, excavating, mechanical, welding. It's kind of nice to have friends like that because you find better deals here and there, is what I'm getting at. So I use this thin, basically I cut it, I don't know, roughly, I would say 3/8 to 1/2 inch. I slice it, and that's what I make my dams. That's what I call them. I call them dams. I make my dams. They're hot glued with the glue gun, and the glue seems to peel off of the body really nice. It does leave a little bit of residue. You got to kind of pick at it and rub it and get it out of the way. So the idea here, so as you can see, I've got this one done. I just did this one here tonight. Tomorrow I'll wait for this to harden up really good, and then I'll put my plywood reinforcement so that it holds the shape before I pull this mold off of here. And the idea of kind of doing impressions of the doors. These are very, trust me, these are very precise. They're like right on the lines as close as I could get them. It's going to be a little finessing them here and there. And basically the idea of doing the impressions of the doors now is that I'll show you this one. This one I did a couple nights ago. I'll pull it off. It's locked in here. Look at that. I can't even move it side to side. It's like locked right on there, but boom, look at that. It comes right off. This one's very cured. It's a very nice finish. I decided to do it in a clear cast instead of going with the, you know, the gel coat and all that stuff. But so the idea here is I've got the impression now of this door, and because the idea is to have functional hinging doors down the road once the mold is made. So I figured if I made my impressions of the door now, I don't know what you would call this, maybe you could call it the female or the negative. You know, we'll pull a positive from this, but in order to do that, I have to build a flange that sticks up kind of all the way around this impression. That way I can do a layup inside there to get kind of what you see here. And that's kind of, it's a little bit ways down the road, but I figured this was a perfect time to see kind of how the body and the paint and everything was going to hold up to doing the fiberglass work. And from what I can see, there's, yeah, I got to sand the edges just a little more. I've sanded this whole body down with 600 wet, and then I buffed it, but I didn't really want to buff it to a perfect shine. I just wanted to buff it to the point that, you know, I can start creating the molds off of the shell. And right there, you know, that's kind of a nice indication that it's pretty decent. And once I make another, like I say, once I flange this and I take an impression of this, the idea is to get the door in there, but then create another mold on top of that as what I would consider an inner door panel. And the idea behind the inner door panel being laminated to the door, so two molds, is to reinforce this. Because let's face it, you know, you could do 3-4 layers of chop or cloth and it's still going to be a little bit flimsy. I want these things, I want it to fit. I want it to fit as good as that fits right there on the mold. And if I have to create, you know, I had an idea of doing like a wire kind of frame inside here and laminate it between the layers of the chop mat or the cloth or whatever I decide to use. I don't think it's going to be necessary because, like I say, I'm going to create an inner door panel which is going to help create the hinge part of the door, and I think it's going to help reinforce, you know, the inside of the door. I'm hoping, you know, it's a long way. I'm thinking kind of outside of the box. I'm thinking weeks, maybe a month and a half ahead of actually ever getting a body. But so basically what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to pull impressions of the doors now. And I'm not just going to do the doors. I want to do this front section, which is kind of like a trunk or a bonnet, because this is supposed to be a separate piece also. So I probably will take an impression of that, the same as I did with the doors. I might actually take impressions of the whole vehicle before I ever get to creating the whole mold. That way down the road, I've got all these little molds for all the individual pieces. So, that being said, you're going to be along for the ride, and you're going to see it happen, and I hope hope you enjoy it. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Sharp Customs, like I always say, share, like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell so you know when we're happening. And that was just a little short video on the GT40 quarter scale tonight. And until the next video, this is for my quarter scale family. Till the next video.